You know, I used to beat the block. Now I bees the block. It's Rebecca. Welcome back to my channel. Well, not even a welcome back. Welcome to my channel. I've been gone for like a while. I just have not had time to keep up with YouTube my whole 9th grade year. Well, every time I tried to like restart, I just never followed through. So this is it. This is gonna be a story time. And this story time is actually really funny. But before I get into the story time, I want you guys to know that like I'm just not trying to brag in any way. So I mean, if you take it as bragging, then that's you, boo. So do you. Today I'm gonna be telling a story on how in 7th grade I just knew I was balling. Basically, I withdrew $3,000 in less than 2 months from my bank account, and I didn't, at the time, I didn't think I was doing anything bad. Ever since we were younger, my parents had taught us like how to manage money, how like to spend properly. So like we'd get allowance, and we wouldn't get allowance for nothing. Like obviously we did chores and got good grades in school. When I was like 4, that's when I started getting allowance. And you're like, why is a 4-year-old getting allowance? Well, because my sister was 7. And that's when we started like doing chores. And then you're like, your parents forced hard work labor on you guys. It wasn't even like that. We had to do something as simple as cleaning our room. And that's what we got allowance for. So, of course my sister's getting more big bucks than me because she's older. I'm the youngest. So like, my dad started off giving us like, I'd get $5. And I just thought I was rich for $5. I was like,
I got rich problems. I got rich problems.
I got older. And of course the allowance got up to 20. When we get 20 a week, and my sister would get like 25 a week or something. So I was in 5th grade, and my sister was in the 9th grade. And my dad decided he wanted to get us credit cards, or debit cards, ATM cards. He started us off with the same amount of money. So me and my sister, by the time we got debit cards, we had about like $1,000 already in our savings, and then in our youth spending account, we would get, first he started me off with $75 a month, and my sister would get $100 a month because she was older and I was younger. And I was just so happy with that. And then 7th grade came around, and I was balling. I just knew I was balling. So I figured out that I had a savings account, which I didn't know about that before. And I figured out that I can withdraw from a savings account because of after Christmas. So like, I waited like, let's say February. Yeah, I waited till February, and I was withdrawing money from my savings account. And when I tell you I was withdrawing money, it wasn't even like $25. I was withdrawing $300 at a time from a savings account in less than 1 month. So I was walking around school with the big butts, had like stacks of 100s on me, you know, not stacks of 100s, but like I had $100 stack in all 20s, $200 stacked in all 20s, and I just had it folded up, and I just knew I was balling. I'd spend money on stuff that I had no business spending money on, like a mesh backpack. I used to buy makeup, a whole bunch of candy and Takis from the store. I just knew I was an ish. Like, I was like, ooh, I got money. Like, I got money. I was walking around with $300 at a time. I was buying people things. I wasn't really buying people things, but like, I bought Valentine's Day gifts for my friends, and I just knew I was fancy, so I was buying them like Godiva chocolate. And you know Godiva chocolate is like an arm in LA. My birthday came up, and I wanted to buy me an iPad. So I was withdrawing money, and the day of my birthday, I withdrew the last amount of money, and I had enough for an iPad, and I had $800 stacked on me. What am I doing at, how old was I in 13? What was I doing at 13 years old with $800 in cash? I didn't know I was doing anything wrong, so I was like, fine, then I'll buy my own iPad. So before I can go get an iPad or whatever, I was just like, okay, you know what, let me not get the iPad yet. Let me just wait to buy this iPad. So my friend's birthday party is coming up, and it's a funny story because every year I can never go to her birthday party because I always get in trouble. Besides every year I went, and it was okay. So her birthday was coming up, and she was like, I was like, oh yeah, girl, I'm gonna come, I'm gonna get you a birthday gift or whatever. I'm gonna get you a good old gift. So my dad just happened to be looking at the bank account that day, and he noticed strange activity on my account, like a whole bunch of money was like withdrawals. And And he was like, he called my mom and he puts me on the phone. Like, we had went to Walmart and he was at the house and he puts me on the phone. He was like, you know somebody's been withdrawing from your account. And I was just like, I guess at that moment I knew like I don't messed up, like I'm in trouble. So I was like, what are you talking about? Like, money I've been drawing. He was like, $3,000 have been withdrawn from your account. And of course, like, I wasn't like counting really like that. And I had withdrew like $3,000. And by the time we moved, by the time I was in 7th grade, my account obviously has been up to how much? Like around $4,000 in my account. So like literally I only had like $1,000 left. And I was like, I didn't know I was withdrawing $1,000. So I was like, what are you talking about? $3,000? I mean, I withdrew some. And he was like, at this point my dad was furious. Like, furious. So he was like, when you get home, you're giving me the card. You're giving me the phone. I was grounded basically. I was on lockdown because it was me. And then I was just like, wait, what are you talking about? So like, he had the bank pull up the ATM videos, and like literally this is like hilarious. I was on every ATM clip. It's not funny, but it's funny. But I was like on literally every ATM clip withdrawing. But like honestly, I didn't realize how much I was withdrawing. Like, something did tell me like, hey, count or check your bank account and see how much money you have left. So I got in trouble for that. And for the longest time my dad didn't trust me with my card. So like I wasn't allowed to have it until that summer. And that summer, he took my ATM card, debit card, credit card, whatever it's called, and money was still going into my allowance, but I wasn't using the card. So like, by the time I got it back, I had about $300 in my, cause he raised my pay. No, he didn't. Yeah, he did. I think before I got like caught withdrawing money, he had raised my pay to like $100 a month for Christmas. Mind you, my savings account and my youth spending account are two different accounts, but they're linked under one card. So when I was getting allowance, it was going to my youth spendings, and then when he was saving the money for us, it was going to my youth savings account. So, but I still had access to that. By the time summer came, I had like about $300 saved, and then I had gotten $100 for Christmas. It was like a $100 bill, and like, you know, when they had just changed a $100 bill to where it had like a little blue thingy that kind of like, you know, those bookmarks we used to get from like the book fair, and like you turn it one way and it like shows you a picture of a cat, and then turn the other way and it shows like a picture of the cat playing with the yarn. It had like that on it, but it wasn't a cat. So he took me to the bank and he made me withdraw all the $300 from my bank account for my youth spendings, and then that $100 bill, he made me put it all back in my savings. So I had like $400 more. And then he was like, you better not touch your youth savings again. So I never again withdrew money from that account besides Christmas, and that's because I had to buy Christmas gifts, but he knew about it. And I have like a $100 limit set, so I'm only allowed to withdraw $100 I think a day or a month from my youth savings, but I don't do it because I am not trying to get in trouble again. So I basically only use my savings account for Christmas, and I normally start saving in October for Christmas gifts. So I have enough to buy people, so I don't really have to go into my savings. But now my savings account is back up to what it was. I think $1,000 more than what it was when I was in the 7th grade. Because, you know, it took me like 3 seconds to drain out of that account, but it took like a couple of years to get it back to where it was. So here's a life lesson, kids. Do not withdraw money without parent permission. Yo, I was tripping back then. Like, I seriously knew I was balling. Like, Chief Keef balling. guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and follow my social medias down below. See you guys later.